Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of Conversations with Cornelius. It is a bank holiday in the People's Republic of Cork and the outer Republican counties of Ireland. One day we will have our counties back. I don't know why this turned into a kind of a weird kind of a Republican opening. I don't really mind as long as it's peaceful on our planet, guys. Anyway, we're having a bank holiday weekend, and as is our custom on bank holiday weekends, I like to release a Patreon episode from the vast back catalogue of Patreons to potentially entice ye guys who listen on a regular basis to go, you know what? I think this guy deserves $5 a month. So that's my plan. That's my cunning plan. Hopefully it will be successful and someone will go, this is a bloody great Patreon episode. Oh my God, I wonder what the rest of them are like. Let's check it out. I was going to have a pint this month, but hang on a second. This is less than the price of a pint. I'll sign up now. Anyway, enjoy, guys, and stay in by the wall. Good night, and God bless. Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius, patron exclusive. I hope you're all well this morning. It is 9:10 on the 29th.
28th.
Why is my fucking date wrong on my phone?
Is it?
It's wrong by it's always wrong on my phone. I always have the wrong date on my phone by a day ahead or a day afterwards. I'm fixing this after this podcast.
Okay.
It is the 28th of May. I'm in the kitch with my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan.
What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. The kids have just got to school. We're in the kitchen. I have started off my day looking after my gut health.
Good man, Con.
Thank you. I had some apple cider vinegar with like half pint of water, and then I had what is it's really disgusting. What is it?
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut that I bought in a Polish shop about 4 or 5 months ago, and then I kind of covered that then with
Kefir.
Kefir. Is it kefir? Be careful there now with the kefir. And I lashed that on top of it to get rid of the taste, of the fucking sauerkraut, because the sauerkraut is disgusting. But sauerkraut, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the best things that you can put into your body for gut health. I don't know if you're interested in your gut health. I am in my 40s now, and I'm hoping to live into my 80s. So what I am doing is I'm looking after my gut health.
Right.
Every second day.
So you'd maybe into your 70s. So well, if you're slashing it in half.
Well, I suppose if I got to, fuck it, I would like to make it to 85 healthily. I'd love. How old would you like to live? Genuinely.
Into my 80s, I suppose. Yeah.
Right. If you could pick your day, your year of death now, what would it be?
82.
82. Would you not like to see 83? For the little boys that we have at home. Would you not like to see them?
Fuck it. 82 is grand.
82 is grand. 82 is loads. So we are. So that's what I did this morning. I got that into me, and then when you took the kids to school, I went outside and I did some deep breathing, and I tried to look up at the sun, but it was too cloudy.
So you just looked at the clouds.
So I looked at the clouds, and the sun was trying to penetrate through the clouds. I could feel the heat.
It's warm out.
Yeah, I could feel the heat of the sun, but I couldn't feel the actual rays that are necessary.
They're probably still coming through though.
Are they?
Yeah.
Would they be?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got my sun this morning.
It's like even on a cloudy day you can get sunburnt, so that would be the case, I would think.
Sunshine on a cloud.
So Patreons, we are also doing this live on TikTok.
TikTok. We're live on TikTok right now. That's the thing that we're going to be doing. And for those of you who are on Patreon who are kind of going, hang on a second, I'm actually paying for this. This is unscheduled. You have to actually literally be on TikTok the time.
At this exact time.
And once it's over, it doesn't get posted. It just gets deleted. So the people that are watching this live on TikTok, it's a unique little... It's a little honey trap for you guys. So you're
come on over to the Patreon.
Come on over. Even just come on over to Conversations with Cornelius, wherever you get your podcasts. It's up there now for the whole wide world. And we have our main episode landed this morning. And this is our Patreon, exclusive to our Patreon listeners and for the 3 people that are watching on TikTok right now. And look, and in fact, just to show, we have a little, what's this comment here? Brandon Flynn. You were a great laugh in Killarney the last night. Thanks a million. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon.
Good man, Brandon.
Fair play to you, bye. Yes, that's right. I was in Killarney there last Friday night in the INEC. I was doing a gig. I was doing tour support for the mighty Chris Kent. And what a gaff it is. I do enjoy it.
What room were you in?
We were in the middle room, which is the slightly bigger room. It's about a 350-seater.
Is that the one that what's his name was playing in the night? I was
Declan O'Rourke?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of ship room.
Yes. It's like a ship. It's like you're on the deck of a ship.
And you know what? You said to Chris after that was a great room.
It is.
And then that's the room.
It's a better room. And there's 3 rooms. Then there's kind of like a theatre room as well. Or kind of like there's a theatre room is the first room. That ship room is the second room. And then there's the third room then is kind of like... where the big, huge bands play.
Yeah, that's the stadium, I suppose. Like nearly, yeah.
That's where we're going next year. You heard it here now. First on Conversations with Cornelius. What's it saying here now? Cornelius is now live in League D2. I don't know what that means. But what I will say, guys, is we are now up to 5. Yeah.
Right.
5.
So let's get back on to the actual Patreon.
Yeah.
To our Patreon listeners as well. And he's a little bit obsessed with the TikTok.
I'm obsessed with the TikTok at the moment because I'm shadow banned.
And you're only on TikTok. Yeah.
I'm shadow banned from Instagram and Facebook, and I deactivated my account there last Friday. And I have to say, I don't really...
I was just about to ask you a question to sound engaging.
Please.
And tell me, how are you feeling being off Instagram and Facebook?
This is my wife here and I love her. I tell you what, the more I'm off, I miss Facebook. I actually miss Facebook. Did I hurt your hand there now by giving you that little squeeze?
Oh,
sorry.
I'd say I might have a bruise there.
What happened to it?
I don't know. Maybe you tried to hug me previously or something.
Oh, God almighty, I suppose I'm not allowed to hug you now. Nobody can see your face there now. Fuck it, it's a nice face. I miss Facebook because I have a good community on Facebook and I've built it up down through the years. I do miss a little bit of that. But I actually don't miss Instagram at all. Now, Instagram is something that I'm going to have to get back onto. It's a necessary evil. But fucking hell, the egos on Instagram, I don't miss them.
Well, I suppose on Facebook, you see there's probably more interaction.
Yeah.
Like comment and chat. Whereas Facebook, Instagram is all... Like Instagram was started as put up a nice aesthetically pleasing photo.
Yeah.
That was a photo sharing site, and then it developed with the comments and the likes and all of that. That's how it grew.
And then they moved, and if you remember Snapchat back in the day, I don't know now.
Still going big time.
Well, I was on Snapchat for a brief period of my life, and Snapchat revolutionized the stories. Do you know the stories?
Was that the start?
Yeah.
Stories.
And then Instagram copied Snapchat and put that feature onto Instagram, and it's a fucking, I don't know, I'm only off it a few days. No, I have to go back on it. I will have to go back on Instagram because it is a necessary evil. But there's a lot of toxicity on Instagram. And since I've been off it, only a few days, there's a part of me that's like, this is nice.
You must check your phone. Now I know you're doing the lives, so this will add time on your phone usage. But it'd be interesting to see your phone usage without Instagram and Facebook.
Oh yes, it would be. Yeah, it would be because when you're a comic as well, when you're a comedian, you'd be on Instagram it's a time thief. Like now, TikTok is a bit of a time thief as well. But
Well, I think TikTok is the worst time thief.
well, the thing I like about TikTok, right? The thing I love about TikTok is it's less for the egos. It's more factual. It's more entertaining.
Random.
And it's more random. Whereas if you're going on to TikTok, if you're going on to Instagram, it's the same version of the same shit every day. People talking into the camera, thinking they're superstars. Fucking.
What are we doing now?
But I'm listen. I'm part of the problem.
Yeah.
I'm part of the problem. I'm not washing my hands of this. But I'm just saying now that I'm away from it. To answer the question, as I feel a bit of relief. I feel a little like even just going on watching. People asking to join the live here now. I'm not gonna accept anyone on the live, lads. But the thing that I find about Instagram is, I do think it's fake. Even the people who are like, I'm just myself. Do you know those cunts that are going around the place going, I'm just myself and that's it. No, here I am and I'm Watts and all, and they're the biggest fucking doses.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You're gone.
I think so anyway. That's but like I'm only gone a couple of days. Maybe I'll be like that's what I'm saying to you about TikTok is I do find it it's less about the ego and it's more about what the person is
Content.
saying.
Yeah.
Like I do a lot of stuff about GAA on my TikToks. I talk a lot about, but it's specific and it's not about, it's about matches and it's about how this player played and it's about this feeling and that kind of stuff. Whereas I don't know, I find maybe you disagree now and you're entitled to disagree and I want to hear your point.
I don't know, like Instagram, I suppose you can have, it's more than words. If someone is saying they're not fake, then, and they have to show the warts and all, and if you follow somebody and they show the warts and all, then they're speaking what they're acting on what they're saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
so
if you see it, you can have some people, yes, that are very fake and they say, oh, we show all the bad here. And then they show a kind of messy room, like, and go, look at my messy room. And you're like, Jesus, that's my room and it's clean. Like, that's fake.
What about
there's
the people
there's people that show like their room's completely a state. Like, and, and then that is them being real. Do you know?
No, I will say, and I have to obviously there are people who are very genuine on Instagram as well. But what I'm talking about isn't about the majority.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the minutia of the 5% that are keeping it real. It's the look, maybe I'm wrong, but I find it to be a fake platform.
Yes, and I think as well,
and
like,
a showy-offy platform.
Yes,
I find
it's also really dangerous for the people who are susceptible to comparison.
And what do we say about comparison?
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah. Do you fall into that trap? Do you like to compare yourself to people on Instagram as a matter of interest?
No.
Are you influenced by someone who you admire on Instagram? Let's say you admired someone, just the way they lived their life. They were a great mom. They were they were an activist. They were doing everything that you really admired. But then if you saw them wearing a certain coat, would that influence you to go, that's a nice coat?
It may not influence me to say it's a nice coat, but I might take their opinion as if they said this coat is nice. If this coat is good quality.
Okay.
This coat fits me well. I would take that. Like there's a couple of people that I would follow, for example, that are curvy models or something. And there's a particular woman that I follow, and I know she's a size 18 or something, and I know what suits her, and I have bought stuff that suits her that I know will potentially suit me. Yeah. This might be from Tesco's or something. So yes, I am 100% influenced by her. Yeah. But that's because it's kind of like, I like that shirt. I'm going to get that shirt. If I feel I need a shirt. I don't but what I mean more around is like, so there is people that really love their beauty and their beauty products, and they're definitely going to be influenced to buy way more than I buy. Do you know? But like, you'll say I'm not. But I am very minimalistic in a lot of senses to things like shoes.
Yes, you are. You are minimalistic.
Makeup.
Yeah.
Products, beauty products, all that. I don't have a lot of them. Like I was putting on my makeup there today, and I realised that I got my makeup brushes when I went on my J1.
No.
So that's
When did you
20 years ago.
She got the makeup brushes, lads, 20 years ago.
I have washed them. Not
Yeah.
as regularly as I should. But I have washed them. But like, and like you're bombarded with makeup brushes and all the beauty products all the time on Instagram. And it can be by people you like or, you know, you kind of value their opinion. So if you are inclined and if you have the disposable income to give it a go,
Yeah.
I might try that. Oh, I'll try that. It's only €7. Only is a value of money is very
It's personal.
it's very personal.
It
Yeah,
like
because
€7, right? It's only €7, right? And like this is a fact. Like €7 to some people is, you know, 50% of their discretionary income. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are people on the I think that's the thing that annoys me is when people are
dismissive of prices.
they're
and stuff.
dismissive of prices, or they're also like they're also like, just go. I just popped in here now, and we just had a little bit of breakfast, and the kids had this, and I had this, and this, and now we're going here. We're buying this.
But do you feel that might be because we are on such a tighter budget than
maybe
maybe there's
so.
a good chance. Like even when I hear myself saying it's only 10. Like I definitely would have been more susceptible to saying it's only €10.
Yeah.
You know, or it's only €20. Or
I still would say no. Look, to be fair, I would yes, we're on the budget. Yes, we're watching our money. Fair enough. Like, but I'd still say Air should have only a tenner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But I'm trying not to now. I'm trying to value a tenner. I'm trying to put a better value on €10 because you can spend €10 in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
By making you could make one not wrong decision, but you could make one yes or no decision and buy the kids a magazine in the shop.
Yeah.
Or you can buy a couple of items that you don't need at all in Centra versus buying them when you were doing your big shop and getting the deals or whatever. Do you know?
Yeah.
But
and I think it's interesting. But I suppose like just getting back to getting back to the Instagram world, it's something. Look, each to their own, and I'll definitely be back on Instagram at some stage. I definitely will be. You know, I have to for work. You know, even if I have to set up a fucking dummy account and go again, I'll have to do that. That's just par for the course. But I do find there's a layer of toxicity in there that I am not comfortable with, and forced joy. I hate forced joy. People like, you know, just like I've seen it. There's an influencer, or there's a fella that I follow, and my God, I actually have him blocked now anyway, right? But I'm not on it. But like every day, it's the same. It's a great day. Like every day is not a great day. There are some days that are shit days, and this guy's on every day going, "Oh, it's a great day to be alive." Does this cunt ever have a fucking headache? Like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does this fella ever go to the toilet and have a look down and go, "Oh, where's that blood coming from?"
Stop.
I'm just saying he might have piles, but he's not going on about his piles on his fucking.
Do you have
Instagram.
piles?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, but I've had them in the past. Have you?
I'm not.
She doesn't want to say. She's a lady. She's a lady. She doesn't even poo.
I just potpourri.
It just drops out in the middle of the night. The little poo angels crawl up your bottom and put it down.
Stop.
All right. Okay. Jesus. Weird.
I'm the weird one.
You're the weird one just because the poo angels, you just don't do poos. The poo angels take your poos away. Anyway, what are we talking about today? We went off on a fucking tangent there.
Big shock there. Big shock that we went off on a tangent. What I had thought about talking about today was we talked briefly on the main podcast yesterday about the new wonder drug for weight loss. I actually saw a TikTok there's about Irish people being on it too.
There's loads of people on it.
I didn't realise there was Irish people on it too, that it's available in Ireland.
Ozempic. So,
but I don't want to get into that drug today, but I do want to get into, so you're saying that we both could take it, right?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm stopping you there now. You're being quite forceful on this podcast, okay? And it's my podcast. You're my guest. Don't be telling me what to do.
I'm not asking you or telling you to do anything with your body
you,
at all.
before you get cancelled.
Before you fucking get the
Your wife
record
got
straight
you,
there now.
Your wife got you cancelled.
I am only talking about myself and my
Yes.
own feelings and my own body, and I love your body.
I know you do.
And I love your face and your nose, and if those poo angels go near your bottom again, I'm going to kill them. But no.
So, okay, so I would like for you. So you feel that you could do it going on it, right?
I tell you what I like about it, okay, is all it does. I've done a lot of research on it, not massive amounts. It's been around for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay, it has been administered to people for that period of time, hundreds of thousands of people, and no one has died. Okay, and what I like about it is it gives you the feeling of fullness. Right, so all it's doing is activating the gene in your body that is released when you are full. When you're, when you're eating a dinner,
the hormones are
and the hormones or whatever it is released, and you're like, I can't eat anymore. I'm absolutely packed. That's what you'd say. I'm packed. I couldn't get another drop into me. And I think, okay, that's what happens, and then you just instinctively do not desire or want to eat. And for I'm only looking at myself. Yesterday now was just a normal old day for me, but I ate. I felt like I was eating all day.
Yeah.
I felt like I was munching down on food all day long. I didn't eat massively unhealthily, but at the same time, I had 2 loop-de-loops. Last night I had
They were only mini ones.
They were schmalinis. I had 2 loop-de-loops. I had, when you went to bed, I had 8 crackers with loads of butter and a big glass of orange. I just ate. I felt like
dinner anyway.
I felt like I was eating all day long yesterday, snacking all day long. And what this does is it stops that, because it makes you not even think about food. You're not interested in food. And for me, I'm like, okay, that would be great not to have that fucking consuming my mind at 8 o'clock while I'm trying to sit down and watch an episode of Criminal Minds with you. Or especially when I'm coming back from a gig, or when I do a gig, like I could be gigging. I gig most, like I'm a working comic. I work hard at my job. I love my job. There's great aspects to it. 99% of it I love. You have to be willing to travel. You have to be willing to, be out at late.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is a pitfall in that is you'd be starved after the gigs. You'd be coming back after a gig, and you'd be like, I just pull into this petrol station here. I get a coffee.
I wonder, is that to do with the kind of, what's the hormone that's released after a gig, the endorphins or whatever? Does that make you?
Ghrelin is the I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That's the hunger hormone. I don't know. Does it come out with the so what's released is endorphins
after you gig.
I
wonder, does that the high energy, does it actually make you hungrier? But anyway,
maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But my point, right, is that this suppresses your appetite. This will get rid of having the 8 crackers at night time. This will get rid of having the 2 loop-de-loops. It also gives you a smaller appetite. So you'll have a few bites of your like, I don't know, let's say in the morning you have you like to have 2 poached eggs and 2 slices of toast and a cup of coffee before you go out the door, right? That's a breakfast that could be a breakfast for me. That might go down then to just 1 poached egg and 1 slice of toast, because you don't feel like having the whole thing. And that to me is, wow, that's actually pretty cool.
But I've even seen that on TikTok, or on Instagram. Someone would, they'd cook a lovely breakfast. They might have avocado, and they'll have 1 rasher on top of it, and then they'll have 1 egg. And I'm like, where the fuck's the other slice? Where's the other toast, avocado and egg? Who's having just 1 egg with their avocado?
And this is the thing. This is the thing. You'll be stuffed by the time you're finished that.
Yeah.
And it's there's got an invoice in there. I always hate to see invoices coming in. But that's just it. And I just think it's and we're going to talk about weight here now in a moment.
Oh yeah, so that's what we didn't actually mean to come on and talk about the drug again, because we kind of spoke about it yesterday.
Well, it's a follow on. So if you want to hear a little bit more, tune in to yesterday's podcast, the for everybody's podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, right? And if you want to see us live, come to see us in the Cork Opera House.
Yes.
We're in the Cork Opera House on the 4th of September. Tickets are now on sale in the Cork Opera House.
Boom.
But, like, I suppose the plan for this conversation was to talk about, you know, where we are now, where we were, and where we'd like to be in the future. And like I remember you were saying to me before this podcast started, to say, like, you know, you had always struggled with your weight, whereas I had been thin as a child and put on weight progressively. And now we're at the kind of stage of our life. And like, we love each other, and I'm happy out the way I am, by the way. Do you know what I mean? But I'm also very happy and really, really content to be working on myself.
Yes.
I'm not ashamed of wanting to better myself and it doesn't mean I judge anyone for the way they look. They're them, I'm me.
Yeah.
I'm a work in progress. And that's the thing with this. Sometimes, like, people will, I can imagine the lashback on this now, like, oh, he's talking about taking a drug to suppress his appetite. It's an injection, actually. It's not a drug. All right.
Well, it is a drug in an injection.
But I'm injecting it into me. It's like I'm gone from taking yolks to fucking heroin.
So you were kind of, I'm just trying to think when we met, but we were both thin when we met.
Yeah.
But you had always been, that was your weight at that time, like you hadn't lost weight.
Do you think I was thin when we met?
Well, nice. You were probably
thinner than I am now.
Yeah. Well, we were both thinner.
Yeah.
But like, were you, I think you were thin enough, were you? Thin.
I was very skinny as a kid. And then into my teenage years, very skinny.
Yeah.
And then kind of when I left school, I'd say around 2021, do you know, like I don't know what you were like now, but I'd be going out every Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, pubs, clubs, parties.
Yes, yeah.
And that lends itself to unhealthy choices in the food department.
Yes.
Pizzas and burgers, and the next day sausage sandwiches and hot chicken rolls and stuff like that. And I think the weight kind of, an unnatural type of weight crept up on me between the ages of kind of 22, kind of started to come on me from around 22. And every year I might have been 2 pounds heavier or 3 pounds heavier. And I kind of I felt when I was 30 that I'm going to use the word fat, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like looking at trying to find clothes to hide the fat. Do you know, do you do that? Do you ever do that? I'd be like, oh, I'll wear this t-shirt, it's black and it's kind of long, it'll hide my titties, it'll hide my belly, do you know? So I have felt really from kind of late, like 29, 30, 31, that I'm a heavy person, do you know what I mean? I'm not in proportion, like, I mean, obviously, like, I'm not, you know, obese, don't get me wrong, I'm not like massively obese, but I would have a lot of weight if I'd all my clothes off. I'd have a belly, I'd have a boob, a
boob or two.
I'd have a boob or two. I could tone up the body, you know. So yeah, I would consider myself overweight. But look, I'm still very happy with my life, very happy with you, very happy with my kids, very happy with my career. But I eat a lot of food, and a lot of the food that I eat is bad. And at the end of the day, if you eat food that is bad, it's a moment on the lips and a lifetime on the hips. Unless you get onto this super drug.
Whereas I suppose for me then, like, I could never ever say I was thin.
Ever.
Like, I definitely wasn't thin as a child. I wasn't thin as a teenager. I was definitely fat, like, but I never really had any issue with it.
Babe,
like,
I don't think you were fat when I met you.
Oh no, that was probably one of the thinnest areas. As my sister says, I kind of what was it again?
Pulled the wool over my eyes.
Yeah, but that I catfished you.
You catfished
in real life. You were real life catfished but I had long periods then of losing weight as well, like of having lost the weight. So like, but when I was a teenager, like I remember going to shops and like having fights with my mother because she wouldn't want me to buy something. And I'd want to buy it. But it was obviously probably a show on me.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that kind of way? But it was in style. It was in fashion.
Yeah.
And I was excited to get something that was in style, you know.
Yeah.
and wanting to wear it or whatever.
And she just didn't want you to wear it because it was
It's probably too tight or
Yeah,
something,
okay.
like, you know, something wasn't right with it.
And in fairness to your mother now, she wouldn't be slow in coming forward with her opinions.
No, but somehow it's very funny because we still say it to this day. Like we like not we're I don't say we're all, but like I'm pretty confident. Yet she never would have boosted it beyond belief. But she definitely was. I think she definitely probably, when you got a compliment from her, she meant it and it was sincere. And she wouldn't have out of malice said that's a show, but she might say, why don't you put on that other dress that's nicer? Do you know, like, so you knew then if she complimented you or said that's beautiful, and she often did as well. So you knew it was authentic. I suppose it wasn't, you're lovely, pet, you're lovely, go on away out there now, enjoy yourself, for sure, you're lovely. So I don't know,
Your
maybe
man has
that's
a heart of gold, to
no,
be
but
fair now.
but that's maybe why the confidence was there then.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. I remember during my teens, like, definitely being overweight and worrying about wetsuits, loving sports, but worrying about wetsuits. So then I had my own.
That was tough, I'd say, was it?
Not really.
Did you give a shit about it?
Well, you do, but you kind of just go, like, I remember in first year of secondary school, and we went to like an outdoor adventure place. We went for the weekend, we went camping or not, you know, it was Captainly, but like trying to squeeze on a wetsuit. And I remember having, like, you know, the friction burns getting on, but I got it on. And then I was able to, but then you see, I was very good, even though I was heavy, I was naturally very good at sports.
Yeah.
So all new activities I was good at. Do you know what I mean?
Because you had a general aptitude to take things up.
But then the weight would obviously
slow you down.
Slow it down, or you know.
Yeah.
But like you were, so at least that probably gave a confidence then as well for those kind of things. But like then after that, then I just made sure I brought my own wetsuit.
But I think that's refreshing, right? That the way you talk about being overweight. Because I think sometimes people talk about it as if it's something to be ashamed of. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but there is plenty of moments. Like I remember then I didn't forget about it, but in 5th year we went skiing.
Right.
No, in 4th year I went skiing for the first time, and with the school, and my suit ripped. It was too small. So you didn't actually get really measured. You just got a suit. They kind of gave your measurements, and even though I'd worn them, and I remember, like, it ripped and it had torn, so it was useless. But I had still I just said nothing and just went in my own tracksuit pants, like, do you know? And I remember, but then the next year, because I had warned them, we'd rang the crowd that like my suit was too small last year. He gave me the wrong one, and I had a brand new suit then going, and I had a cool suit that was like a Quicksilver suit, like. So it was like.
Can I ask you a question? You have a big difference towards clothes than I do, right? So when you put on clothes, right, that Quicksilver suit now that you're talking about, that's like a wetsuit, is it?
No, it's like for skiing, like.
Oh, for skiing, okay.
So it was like now, first of all, obviously, if it was Quicksilver, it was men's, because Roxy's the women's version of Quicksilver, but it's a surfing and snowboarding brand, like. But again, I was good at that.
She was good at snowboarding.
For the ones that we only went the second year in a row, like.
Sinead Walsh has said,
Hi, Sinead.
Big love, you're a bleeding star. She's a bleeding star. You are a bleeding star. Do you know when you put on clothes, you have a big thing that I've noticed this with you that I don't have, but I think I just think I don't have it, and I think a lot of the world might have it. You love how clothes make you get a great buzz out of clothes, like.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yeah, but I think you're in the minority.
I like this hoodie now. This is a nice hoodie.
Yeah, so you like that, like.
I suppose I do.
And you've got bits that you like, but you're not as overly interested in
clothes.
The same clothes that made you feel that you liked 10 years ago. You still like.
My gig clothes are a pair of Docs that I have that you bought me, I'd say about 10 years ago. A pair of blue jeans with an elastic waist because I have a little bit of a belly and a small arse, and I need it. And
you have a little bit of a stretch.
A little bit of a stretch Armstrongy pants and I still need a belt as well with that, and a black plain t-shirt.
Yeah.
And if I had to wear, honest to God, if I had to wear them for the rest of my life.
But then you are particular about your black t-shirt. Like, there's certain few that are nicer.
Yeah, well,
If
I
you
like I like the black t-shirt to be long, so that it doesn't make me look fat and that my titties aren't exposed.
The titties are
I just
kind of
don't
hard
like
to-
a tight
The
t-shirt.
titties are sometimes hard to cover, in a sense, with jumpers and stuff. It kind of...
Will we sing the titty song?
Titties.
She's got
Very, very nice titties.
But she's got a personality as well, but you want to get to know her, like.
We think it's funny anyway. But yeah, so I suppose clothes do make you feel, and like, but it's definitely how they. I don't know. It's most of it is the hanger, isn't it? I always like to say that. It's
Well,
the
I
hanger.
think I actually think, like, I think you're beautiful. Honest to God, even like when you're like, I suppose you would. I'm going to put words into your mouth now. I have to be so careful here, but like, we are not in the shape of our dreams at the moment.
No.
Is that a good way of putting it?
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll wear clothes and I'll be like, wow, that's really beautiful on you. Like you've got great eye for clothes. Like, and you're talking about a hanger now, like in 3 years time when we're on this thing now, this Ozempic, and we're 9 stone each, like we'll be looking at those things, looking at the clothes we're wearing now going, how the fuck did we wear those? Like,
Yeah. Like, I suppose I do get confident, like, not that I think I'm coming across in this podcast, and in a couple of them recently we've talked about my confidence. I do think
she's good to talk about. Go back to that. What you're coming across as what?
overly confident or
She's
something.
very confident, lads.
But I'm not then as well. I think I come across as very confident, but inside I think I'm like even in work I used to be like one of those ducks that, you know, is like, well, she's very calm, and then underneath I'm fucking having a shit attack.
Yeah,
you know, but I like to, I suppose it's fake it till you make it, and often you will make it by faking
You
it.
nearly always will. Yeah,
And it's the same thing as being happy. If you fake it till you make it, you will turn it around.
You will.
Like, you know, if you're like, you can easily wake up in the morning and be like, oh Jesus, I'm wrecked now, like, which I am all the time.
Are you wrecked all the time?
Am I wrecked all the time? No, that was the incorrect. I feel wrecked all the time, but I'm just wrecked this week.
Yeah. You went to bed very early last night.
We can hear you without those absurdly big mics.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for that comment there, Shartman. But this is actually a podcast that has been recorded on our Zoom box for our actual podcasters. You're lucky to be here at all. You can fuck off if you want to.
Get back in your box.
These aren't for your ocular cavities. These are for actual or podcast
Our fans.
or actual podcast listeners. Shartman. So you go away there now and go to the toilet in a bowl like God had intended.
Instead of shark.
Okay. There's hate, like, that's the one thing about TikTok. You do get a lot of haters on TikTok. In Instagram world, it's like the Barbie movie where everything is just perfect. Everybody's happy. Everybody's fake. But there are a few reality checks on TikTok, like
Absurdly
Shartman, coming on here going, we can hear you without those absurdly big mics. And this is called a muffler, by the way, Shartman. This is the actual mic. It's not absurdly big at all. It's just regular. You dope.
Okay, back in the room, Con. Thanks.
Also, I love you. Please subscribe and watch my podcasts.
What were you saying? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah, so confidence. Yeah, so, but like, I suppose then, like, if we go back to me, but let's get back to me.
Let's get back
when
to
I was in
her.
college, like that. But you were talking about the same age, going out partying and drinking. Like, I definitely put on more weight then as well.
Yeah.
But then I went to America on my J1 between 3rd and 4th year. And usually people go to America on their way and on their J1 and they put on weight. But I lost weight on my J1.
How did you lose?
Because it was so hot and we were working hard, like in
What were you working
restaurant.
at? Restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had loads of money. We got Savage Tips, great spot.
Montauk.
So it was like.
Did you ever
the
serve anyone
Hamptons.
famous?
Not really, actually.
Didn't
no,
you?
I served more famous people in Ireland than I did in Montauk.
Who's the most famous person you ever served in Ireland? Noel.
The most famous person I met was probably Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. You heard it here first on Conversations with Connie Elliott. She served Tiger Woods.
No, I didn't. He was
did
in the
you?
Sheila and I was working there at that time.
Oh,
I was in the shop.
She's made it all up. She never served.
But I did get his autograph and I did meet him.
You had his autograph on a hat.
I met him
somewhere.
2 years in a row and on a hat and then on
You'd be his type
two
as well,
different hats.
blonde.
I wasn't. This was before I went to Montauk.
This is before you lost the weight.
This is the photo
Yeah.
before the weight loss journey. So I lost weight in Montauk and came back looking good. That was the first time I would say I actually looked well enough. Like,
And when you looked good, right? It's gas. Body image is gas, isn't it? Like it's like you are confident, and you're a heavy set girl. But you when you walk, like I'm always really proud to be with you. You just you carry yourself. And you're not one bit fucking worried about what, in
Like
my opinion anyway, you're not one bit worried about what other people think. You're happy with what you're wearing and you look
like
good.
I could be happy with what I'm wearing and it doesn't matter what size it is.
Yeah.
Do you know that kind of way? Like, I could be wearing something today and I'd like it. I could be wearing something else tomorrow and I won't like it. And then I will be conscious of what I'm wearing. But it's not necessarily to do with my size, if that makes sense. But I can still be unconfident, but it wouldn't necessarily to do with my size. Okay. But I do still enjoy being thin, like being less weight. Like I'm not,
and that's what I'm actually getting to, because I feel I'm the same. I'm going around in this meat suit, this large meat suit for the last since I'm I think really since I'm 29, 30. I felt okay. I'm kind of fat now, and my friends. Do you know, your childhood friends would call you fat, well, you fat cunt or you fat bastard or whatever, like, and these are your friends for life, like, and I'd
hate to hear what your enemies call you. This is your friends.
But this is the thing, your friends will actually will mock you about your insecurities, because they love you and they'll still have your back, like my childhood friends. There's nothing off the table when it's like when we go to matches together, like, oh, for God's sake, I've often seen tables, look at us, we're absolutely cruel to each other, but like behind it all, then we have each other's backs, like, you know. But fat would be one that has been labelled at me for years, you know, and I was, unlike you, I was, you know, I suppose not fat until my 30s.
Yes.
And again, like I don't particularly like it. But I know how to change it, and you and I know how to change it. And I just like the taste of food too much to want to live on this planet without having 8 crackers, as I watch Criminal Minds.
But we were great I suppose there was a long spell, we were great for the fad diets.
We love a fad.
We love a fad diet, but we haven't done fad diets, and that's got us to this stage in our life. Like, everyone gives out about fad diets, but actually if you can go from a fad diet to a fad diet and lose weight, like we've done juicing, we did paleo, we did pretty much a Slimming World, Weight Watchers, we did them all over time. But then once I haven't dieted properly since I had Harvey, and Harvey's 7,
yeah,
and like I've had 2 kids since. We did Slimming World after Hunter.
Oh yeah,
so we did go.
Yeah, well, I didn't really. You did it more than me. Like I wasn't really that interested, because I did years and years ago I did Weight Watchers, and there's a phone call coming in there now that I can fake off. But years ago I did Weight Watchers. That's the first thing I did, and then I did paleo with you, and we did juice. We did juice cleanses and juicing. I still do juicing. I love juicing.
That was a different way. Like that was like a 3-day juice, like, or whatever.
And it's bringing me on, right? It's bringing me on to what we wanted to talk about, and we're nearly 40 minutes into the podcast and we haven't started talking about it yet. Is this new wonder drug that is blowing up across the world, but has been out for many's the year. But it's now being prescribed to people who are overweight, and it is changing the landscape. It is changing the global landscape. Fat people are not going to exist anymore.
But that's the
just
thing.
Let me say my piece. Okay? Fat people are not going to exist, because this is going to be a pill that costs less than $1 a day. They're trying to get into, and like I've watched a good, like there's an episode on Diary of a CEO at the moment, right, where they're talking to this guy who has been using Ozempic, and it talks a little bit more about it in depth. And he's like, he said they're like, you know, the share prices in Ben and Jerry's have dropped. Like organizations like Weight Watchers and Slimming World, which are global multi-billion-dollar organizations, are not going to exist, because you go there and you pay your money and you have to come in and you have to degrade yourself by hopping up on a weighing scales and in front of a load of other fatties, and oh, well done, you lost 2 pounds, here's a star for yourself, and you buy into it at the time because you're feeling
well,
bad.
it's a community as well, like
It is, but like being in both those communities, in Weight Watchers and Slimming World, I found it very, very focused on women. Very focused on women. And like, men are grand, or your men are grand, they're grand, leave them off, but very focused on women. And I found there was a lot of pressure in there, and I found after the joy of about maybe 2 or 3 weeks, it turned into anxiety if you had a bad week. And you had to go in and weigh yourself, and you hadn't lost anything, or God forbid you put on something, There's someone saying here now, I personally would be so happy to see the end of Slimming World. Don't agree with them. And that's from Last Munchkin. I'm the fucking same, man. I'm the same. I do think they're toxic. I do think they eventually, I think eventually, because I think a lot of weight gain is like, there's genuine reasons, like you're talking about having children. Like, women should not have to have pressure to lose weight at all after having children. Do you know what I mean? Your body goes through like fucking war. It goes through war. Like, you should just be looking after your body as best you possibly can, right? But if that means then that you're eating ice cream and chocolate and potatoes because you've gone through all this trauma, right? Hear me out. I have a point. You've gone through all this. You've gone through all this trauma, and and the byproduct of what you're doing now to deal with the trauma is weight gain, right? If someone's, and then you're having this trauma, then you're having this weight gain, and then you're feeling bad about yourself because you're overweight, you can't fit into clothes, you don't look as sexy as you once did. I'm saying I'm talking about the royal you. You don't feel like when you were in 23 and you came back from Montauk and you were a hot young mom or a hot young body, but now you have a pill that you can take, and it'll suppress your appetite. You can still eat healthily. You can still make all these healthy choices in your life. Because this is what's exciting to me, is it'll stop me eating the fucking food that I shouldn't be eating that's putting on the weight after I have my healthy food.
Yes, yeah.
You have to listen to me sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the rant. I'm sorry for the rant.
I just think that the fact that we're going to say that fat people won't exist, it's like, what about if there's people that can't take the drug and they're fat? Then they're gonna, like, we've spent years trying to make fat people be accepted and be valued and not shunned. Like, there is an element of that when you lose
there's
weight
fatism out there, definitely, yeah.
And like, people aren't even seen. Fat people aren't even seen in queues or in opening the doors.
Auditions. If you go for an it's how you look. Like, look at all the Hollywood actors out there. Look at all they're all beautiful people. And now there's a kind of a thing where they're kind of, if they're not actually even beautiful people, because like Barry Keoghan, he's not beautiful, but he's thin. Benedict Cumberbatch, he's not beautiful, but he's thin. And then the thing is, it's weight is how you're judged on this planet. Weight and the colour of your skin are two of the biggest things that judge. And I'm just saying, you're right. Maybe everybody mightn't be able to take this pill, right? You're dead right. There are side effects. There are side effects to drinking cordial, right? There are side effects to walking across the road. You might get hit by a fucking car. There are side effects to everything in this life. But it will, for the majority of people, be affordable. $1 a day, they're saying, right? And like, the people who are overweight spend well more than $1 a day on fast food or on junk food. Do you know what I mean? So if you can afford junk food and if you can afford fast food, you can, and it's way more than $1 a day, then I just think that these aren't my words as well. These are words that I've heard from scientists and stuff, that all this problem that has been on the planet for the last, I suppose, 40 or 50 years, since we become more sedentary as a human race, is going to be able to be eradicated. And I don't know, is it a good thing or a bad thing, Noel? I'm not saying that, because it'll just, a lot of people are eating as well to mask other problems, so, but it will get rid of the weight, and I would be delighted to be thin in my 50s. I would be delighted. What's this fella said? Jesus, Galway were good the last day, weren't they? No, Dylan, they were not. Galway, well, do you know what? They were good before your man got sent off. Burke, was it David Burke? Dahi Burke got sent off.
Oh yeah, one of the Burks. Yeah.
We're just, for those listening on the podcast, we're just responding to live TikTok comments. That's from Dylan Duffy. Thank you, Dylan. Come and see me in the Cork Opera House on the 4th of September. I'm doing a live podcast. This beautiful lady is going to be joining me. Chris Kent is my main guest, and we have another super surprise guest who we will not be revealing. But yeah, that's just the thing with Ozempic with me anyway. Like, but that, like, I feel I'm pro it, but I feel from talking to you that you're not pro it.
No, you said something there a minute ago, and that's kind of that was what I did feel, but I've forgotten now what you said. It was kind of like I am maybe not sure yet, maybe, or something. Like I think it could work, but I'm apprehensive yet still.
Yeah.
Um.
Can I tease out your apprehensions? What are you apprehensive about? Even though I know you don't have your full mind, your full opinion formed on this, and I don't actually have my full opinion formed. This is all new.
It's the idea of that it's going to reverse years of making fat acceptable to making it totally unacceptable. Why can't you just fucking take the drug? You know, it will become not your choice whether you take a drug or not. Like, I don't know. That's just.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I just think it'll be like she shouldn't be fat. She should take the drug, and then is everyone going to look the same? Are we all going to be a size 10 or a size 8, or you know, where does it stop? Do we all become a size 6 and skin and bone, or you know, like?
Yeah. There could be complications like that down the line. Yeah, definitely, and like, I don't think it's going to solve body image, because you know, like, loads of people have body dysmorphia and body image you know, anyway.
Are you going to have 17-year-olds being all excited for turning 18 because they can lose their puppy fat? Like, what age does it start at? What age?
Well, it'll have to be heavily regulated, and like, you might lose the fat, but then you might be fixating on your nose. Jesus Christ, my nose is very crooked. I never noticed that with all the fat that was on my body.
Yeah.
Now I've no fat in my nose. Oh my God almighty. My nose. And like, that is what's going to happen. There is going to be... But that's the human
anyway.
condition.
That happens anyway.
Yeah.
I do get that.
But what about all the health benefits that it's going to have? Like, by eating less as a society, you're going to live longer. There's going to be less money spent like, there's going to be more money allocated to health resources, because they're not having to deal with the obesity epidemic that is bringing on.
Yes.
There's so many spin-off diseases from being overweight that'll all be gone.
All that money will be like all the heart disease,
and
like
a
lot of heart disease will be.
The injection or the pill. What I love about it, all it does is it activates a hormone it activates a hormone that is released when you're full. Okay.
Yes.
And in life at the moment, that is activated when you have a big plate of potatoes and steak and peas and whatever. You eat it, you're stuffed, you're packed, you can't move, right? That feeling stays with you, right? Like, if you were offered...
For a solid 10 minutes for us.
But listen to me, it stays with most people for 10 to 15 minutes afterwards, right? But you'll often see, right? You could be inside here at Christmas dinner, have a big dinner, and then you'll be on the couch watching something, and someone goes, will you have a bit of a Toblerone? And you take a triangle of it, or you might, you'll pick... You will not want to do this, because it gives you the feeling of, I'm full, I don't need nor want food anymore.
Yeah.
And that feeling, you get an injection once a week, you have to administer it. That's the way it's done at the moment. It's kept in the fridge. And then it's just one. And then you take it on a Monday. And then by the time Sunday comes around, your appetite apparently is coming back to the way it is. So you can have a fine feed for yourself on the Sunday. Yeah, if you want to.
Like, you know what? I'm going to have it that timed now.
Yeah, I'm going to put all the rest of the calories into me. And then you take the injection again on the Monday. And that's it. And like, obviously that's going to change. There's going to be like upgrades to it. And they're going to, like, there will be pitfalls.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that the benefits definitely outweigh the negatives, from what I can see. Just from, like, even just looking at the health point of view, for, like, the amount of money that's spent in our country, are wasted on our country on health services.
And it probably, do you know what, the one thing that if it gets rid of the likes of the diet food, which are so processed and not real food at all,
Oh
then
my God, I never even thought of that.
then that
like
would be
the
pretty
ready
amazing.
meals and stuff like that. The Weight Watcher ready meals.
Well,
and
the diet, I'd be thinking more, yes, and like the diet yogurts, which are just absolute shit,
pure poison.
pure poison, and the diet bars and all of that world.
Yeah.
That would be good.
That
But
would
now,
be good.
is it time to finish up, do you think?
It is. I think it is. I think it is. Pin your subscription goal. We must look at that now the next day.
So say goodbye to our Patreons.
Patreons, I love you with the very bottom of my heart, and thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's podcast, great. If you didn't, that's okay too. These are just myself and my queen's opinions on life. We reserve the right to change our mind, and we do all the time. We change our mind like the wind changes. But we just like to talk about.
And we love everybody.
We love
And
everybody.
Everybody's body.
Everybody. I don't judge a person by their body, by the way, and I don't think you do either.
No.
Like, it's the content of their character and how they treat. I suppose you'll always remember how someone. You'll always remember how someone made you feel.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how I treat people, how they make me feel. I don't care about their weight, but I do care about my own weight and my own body, and I am entitled to talk about that. So if you don't agree with me, that's fine, but keep your opinions to yourself.
Not open for debate.
It's not open for a debate. I don't want anybody texting me. I don't want anybody sliding into my DMs, because you can't, because I'm not on Instagram or Facebook, and saying, I can't believe you said that. Nah. Go in. Fuck off yourself.
Oi. Oi.
No, but I do love you. I do love you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.